Now there is a well-known Battle of Mosul, but we're also flying near Raqqa, and we're also flying near Al-Qaim, which is a southern part of Iraq. Because Daesh is well spread all over Iraq and Syria, we have to provide effects all over the operation area.
She's the flagship of the French Navy and the only European carrier involved in Inherent Resolve. For nearly 2 years, the Charles de Gaulle has led France's air campaign against the Islamic State terror group, also known as Daesh. Her pilots flying hundreds of combat sorties over Iraq and Syria in a mission the French military calls Operation Chamal.
France has suffered more Islamic terrorist attacks than any other European country in recent times, and it was one of the first to join the US-led coalition fighting Islamic State. In terms of aircraft numbers, it ranks only behind America. As well as the 24 Rafale jets here aboard the de Gaulle, the French Air Force also has 12 other aircraft flying missions against Islamic State from bases in the Middle East.
The de Gaulle carries 2 squadrons of Rafale marine fighter aircraft, each one costing around £70 million. This 38-year-old squadron leader has made 450 landings on the ship. For his personal safety, we've obscured his identity.
We are conducting 2 types of mission. The first one, the main one, is armed overwatch. So we go in flight with 8 weapons, different type depending on the mission, and we are providing to Iraqi forces and coalition sensors and ammunition in case they get in trouble on the ground. Second mission is what we call ISR, intelligence, surveillance and recognition. For that we got the aircraft with a Wikipad, which is taking pictures, so that we can have intel looking at the pictures and seeing what Daesh is constructing for the next defense.
On the flight deck, these technicians prepare the Rafale jets for their missions over Iraq and Syria, their coloured tops identifying their different jobs.
Le 30 et le 37, ils partiront à 11h30.
It's all controlled from this flight operations room overlooking the deck. It's manned by some of the de Gaulle's most experienced sailors, and in here they manage the waves of fighters being catapulted from the carrier.
Une demi-heure avant le catapultage, tous les pilotes vont dans les avions, on met en route.
Half an hour before takeoff, all the pilots board their aircraft. Along with the technicians, they check the aircraft are ready to fly. Once they've confirmed that, the air boss gives us the green light to proceed to the catapult. We're guided by the men in yellow jackets. We call them the yellow dogs. They guide the aircraft onto the catapult to launch the planes quickly. We have 2 catapults on the aircraft carrier to launch the planes every 30 seconds.
As well as Rafale jets, the de Gaulle carries 2 Hawkeye surveillance planes. These leave the carrier half an hour before the fighter jets, scanning a huge expanse of land and sea and providing overwatch across Iraq and Syria.
What we are doing mostly for Operation Inherent Resolve is what we call power projection, or basically battlefield command and control. So basically we are taking off from the ship, going to somewhere around 500 nautical miles from this position, and after over there we'll be commanding and controlling assets, air assets, over the battlefield, over the ground, either in Iraq or Syria.
In the past 2 years, French aircraft have launched nearly 900 airstrikes against Islamic State in both Iraq and Syria. And since the start of the Battle of Mosul, the French military has trebled its number of bombing missions, launching 75 in a fortnight. This latest mission, called Arromanche 3, is the de Gaulle's 3rd deployment to the region in 2 years and has already been extended. For the admiral in charge of this French fleet, her presence sends a strong message.
C'est un sentiment d'abord de grande concentration pour vraiment agir en professionnel.
It's very intense, a real focus on acting professionally. respecting the rules of the theatre of operations and coordinating with all the other coalition forces, as well as the troops, the Iraq forces on the ground, who are fighting to retake Mosul. So great professionalism and focus on the one hand, and a very strong feeling of contributing to securing the region against Daesh, but also Europe and particularly France, where Daesh is attacking our citizens. So our pilots and all our sailors have this very strong dedication to contributing to tackling Daesh.
For a country which has suffered so much at the hands of IS-inspired terrorists, this ship is a powerful symbol of national pride, a potent weapon of war playing a leading part in the destruction of Daesh. Simon Newton, Forces News, aboard the Charles de Gaulle.